What's up, everybody? I'm here with my good friend Zi8gzag. Oscar, say hello.
How's it going, everyone?
We're doing something really fun today. We're doing an experiment, and we're going to be playing a Green USA with the vegan mode mod, which allows us to only see green pixels. Something I've been wanting to try for a while. We're going to learn a lot, and I'm excited to see how well we do with just seeing green. So are you ready?
I feel like the mod is made for this map, right?
Absolutely. Things are loading in. This is crazy looking.
So
what do you
first things first, this location is not incredibly green. Otherwise, we'd be able to see a lot more. It only shows the green pixels. So my first thought, pale soil and like also quite pale leaves. It almost reminds me of honey mesquite. I feel like this does look quite similar. If it's not it, then... Oh yeah, the shape of this looks good as well. We can't really see because it's probably quite brown, but... And look, we have prickly pear, so I think it's almost certainly Texas, in my opinion. I'd probably think like central, southern, maybe like San Antonio adjacent, could even be down towards Laredo. Maybe I'd go like here. That would be my idea.
Yeah, I think so. Like I've seen areas kind of like this just south of San Antonio, maybe southwest.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I want to say about the honey mesquite is that they tend to get larger the further east you go. So higher rainfall leads to higher, taller honey mesquite. And the honey mesquite that you see out in like the New Mexico deserts and Arizona tend to be really small and shrubby.
Right.
And that's not what we're seeing here.
Yeah,
we're
this is a
seeing
huge one.
Pretty tall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it is honey mesquite, which I mean the leaf structure looks decent, then I would say that's pretty huge.
I definitely agree. I think my guess we're just outside of San Antonio somewhere.
Okay.
I like your guess.
Let's go like that. Yeah, even further south. Makes sense.
Yeah, that's right. Honey mesquite, you can find it all the way down to South Texas and even into northeastern Mexico. It's a pretty wide range. That was a good one to start.
Definitely. Oh, okay. My first thought here was firstly, vegetation-wise, we're on a trail, so that's something. This feels like PNW has it written all over it for me. Like it's super green and mountainous, and I don't know, like it just feels, I mean, like just having been to that part of the world, it just feels like it to me. So let's have a look.
Yeah. And also the height of the mountains that you can see in the distance, I think that's going to be a hint because
Definitely.
there's definitely some forests that you can find in the eastern U.S., say like the highest Appalachian mountains that have coniferous forests like this.
True.
Man, these mountains are just huge.
Okay, well, here's my thing as well. Loading into the round, I thought it was British Columbia, and then I looked at the name of the map. So I think this might be like Panhandle, Alaska, or maybe Washington State. That would be my idea here.
Bringing everything together, just the height of the mountains, all these conifers. I am kind of curious about these broadleaf trees that are mixed in with the conifers.
Sure.
I'm not 100% sure what they are. They almost remind me of like an alder or something. Yeah, just looking, you can actually see the serrated edges.
Yeah.
These kind of like that saw.
So what's the deal with that species? Where can you find that one?
Alders are a genus that you can find like throughout a lot of the northern part of North America. Like a lot of them in Canada, you have them in Alaska, and you also have them in the mountains out west, and a few out east. But I feel like it's mostly a northwestern thing. So if that is indeed alder that we're looking at, that's my guess. I think it supports your theory for sure.
Okay, so yeah, I think it feels. I mean, even the coverage kind of feels familiar. I'm not sure where they have hiking trails like this or what, but let's think. Let me think about the cities that are covered, because I know they have Juneau, so maybe Juneau has a hiking trail outside of it, something like that. I don't remember that exactly. Maybe it's actually towards Haines State Forest here. There is a trail. I don't know. That's the area of the world I think it is, but I'm not sure where this trail is.
Yeah, so much of this part of the world probably looks very, very similar. But yeah, this has to be somewhere. I like your Alaska idea for sure.
Okay. And finally, this tree here, what do you think this is?
This looks like
hemlock?
I don't believe it's hemlock. I think this is a spruce or a fir. And it's kind of hard to tell unless you have cones, but let's see. Zoom in again, and we might be able to see some cones on this thing.
But the problem is the cones aren't green, so I'd actually probably get rid of them.
Oh, that's true. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm not the best with my Pacific Northwest in terms of the conifers. There's a lot of species.
Yeah, right.
A lot of them tend to look pretty similar.
I remember that's one of your few weak spots in the US.
That's right.
Okay, it was June.
Oh, nice.
I didn't see these hiking trails. They're in the green dots, but I didn't see them. Not too bad.
That is a sick guess. Good stuff.
Thank you, bro. Okay, this one we have a lot of palmettos. Now, let me tell you something. Palmettos is something I've remembered and used from your coaching with me. But yesterday I had one, I'm not joking, in Delaware. No, it was Maryland. I had a full palmetto. That was crazy.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's probably as far north as you'll find them in the landscape, I'm sure. Because that's rare. I've never seen that before.
I guessed Florida, I think. Whoops. But okay. This has to be Florida with the amount of them and how flat it is to me. Like, it should be southern Florida, I think. Like, yeah, Everglade kind of vibe.
I completely agree. You can actually also see, zoom in on the right, I think that's a live oak with some Spanish moss on it.
Oh, true. It is. That's very cool.
Yeah, that's another thing you'll often see growing alongside these cabbage palmettos in peninsular Florida. Classic South Florida right here.
So let's see. Everglade. Oh. Lining up the road is not going to be possible if we only have one color.
The gray void.
Yeah, the gray. Staring into the void to try and get my 5K. I'm going to go here. Okay, a bit further on.
Oh, not bad. Good stuff, dude.
Not too bad. But that one's a pretty, as vegetation rounds go, that was a pretty easy one. This might be a bit harder, I think. Okay, so immediately, this time, maybe more of an Appalachian vibe. It's hard to say without the road. Like, I feel like I rely on the road a lot, just the way it looks and stuff.
Yeah, it's looking pretty, like, temperate so far.
Yeah, not too tropical. I could still see, I don't actually think it's too far north. It doesn't feel like, I feel like it kind of feels like West Virginia, maybe. Possibly like an Ohio forest or maybe like a Kentucky forest. I think that's kind of my region guess here. But I don't, maybe you can tell us what we're looking at because I'm not quite sure.
No, I like that because we're seeing a lot of different broadleaf trees, a lot of different leaf shapes. This one with the big leaves right there, that's interesting.
Yeah,
I think that, I thought it was a magnolia at first, but this actually looks like it might be a rhododendron. It's extremely common. Right there in the Appalachian Mountains. So that would be a really solid guess.
Okay, nice. Anything
Do we have
else?
any pines at all? Or yeah, I was wondering if there was any like pines in the overstory. I'm not seeing any. I think that might be a pine. It's hard to tell. It's really broken up. This is where the mod's coming into play.
Yeah, it is. I think I still like maybe like a northern West Virginia then.
Yes, I agree. Especially with the great rhododendron, I think they're most common in like the central Appalachians, but you can find them all the way up to like New York.
Okay.
And then all the way down into northern Georgia.
Maybe we should check that out on iNaturalist after we guess that one.
Yes, definitely.
Let's guess here. Okay, Virginia.
Not bad at all.
Let's have a look.
In the moment of truth.
This way, wasn't it?
Oh wait, hold on. This actually isn't a rhododendron. I think that's actually a magnolia.
Oh, okay.
Which, that's actually super cool. This might be a cucumber tree.
Ooh. Okay, cucumber tree.
Yeah, this is
okay.
Yeah, it's a magnolia. Huge leaves, like the one we're looking at.
Yeah.
And just all throughout the Appalachians.
Even particularly common in like the kind of northwestern Appalachians. That's interesting.
There's also there's a few other possibilities because I think the Central Appalachians have like 2 or 3 more species of magnolias. There's one called umbrella magnolia. I think it's another one. That's one I almost never see playing Geoguessr. That's awesome. And also just look at the size like of those leaves. It looks pretty tropical looking.
Yeah,
I think
it
that's
does.
because this environment gets so much rainfall, so they have ample moisture year round, and a plant like this magnolia here is just trying to collect as much sunlight as possible,
right?
Under the shade of tons of other broadleaf trees. So it's trying to just maximize that surface area.
It's very cool how nature works like that, I gotta say. It really is. But that's something I actually take into Geoguessr a lot when I'm playing, even like playing pro games and stuff. I'm thinking about how big the leaves are to think about how big, how much rainfall and how much light they get in that place. Like a plant can really only afford to make bigger leaves if there is quite a bit of sunlight, right? So,
especially rainfall.
Rainfall. Yeah, because then it can make it bigger.
And rainfall.
Yeah.
Because you'll see in desert plants, usually much smaller leaves.
Yes. Even though they have plenty of sunlight, of course. Yeah. Okay. So here we have Spanish moss.
Nice find. Yep.
And we also have a very long needle pine here. Is it loblolly? I think so. I think especially the ones down the road look quite loblolly-like. But I'm worried. Yep. I was kind of worried that it could be like what's the one you find up here? The
pitch pine.
Pitch pine. I was kind of worried about pitch pine here, but Spanish moss, I forgot. So yeah, we actually see.
Yep.
Probably reminds me quite a bit of maybe Georgia, Alabama here. So maybe thinking Georgia. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was thinking so Spanish moss plus we have like this very, very classic mixture of pines, like you said, possibly loblolly pine, but it can be kind of tough sometimes.
What's that?
With
looks like a fig tree or something.
This one is interesting. This is actually an oak. Zoom in on those leaves again. Yeah, no, it doesn't have like a typical oak leaf shape, but if you look at the margins of the leaves, just the edge, you see like that
serrated.
Exactly, it's like this smooth serration going on. I believe this is a swamp chestnut oak, or another name is a cow oak. That's my guess of what this one is. It's just kind of going off of the habitat and also how far south we are. That's a really cool one to see as well. It's one I don't see too often.
Seems like we have a lot of the cow oaks. This one, I'm not sure what that is. Very shiny leaves though. So how do you feel? Where would you place it, do you reckon?
Honestly, where you placed it is not a bad idea at all, but one of the problems or one of the challenges when it comes to the southeast is you have very similar plant communities across a very wide area. So I'd say like coastal North Carolina all the way to East Texas.
Yeah.
You might find a habitat that looks kind of like this.
Yeah. And we can't see the road or the soil color, so that makes things tougher too. Shall we guess here or would you suggest anything else?
Going Georgia is never really a bad idea because you're kind of like hedging.
Yeah, that's true.
And also I like the latitude you're at as well. Actually, I would say go a little bit further south.
A little further south, okay.
Because of the Spanish moss, yeah.
Yeah, the Spanish moss should lean a bit further south. But to be fair, we only really see it properly on one tree.
Going further inland, it's usually only found in swamps or along rivers because it has like a little extra
sure, that makes sense. Is it actually a parasite or what is it classified as?
Yeah, it's not a parasite. It's actually called an epiphyte, which is a plant that lives on another plant without harming it.
Sure.
And believe it or not, it's actually most closely related to the pineapple.
Oh, yes, I remember you saying that. That's crazy.
Yeah, little known fact.
Okay, let's guess here. I could actually see like a Tallahassee. That kind of makes sense to me. Oh, it's actually South Carolina. There's our Spanish moss. There's our oak. Just looking at the road. Yeah, I'm not sure if I was getting that, to be honest. I think it's much more possible now that I can actually see it, but yeah, I think it's very difficult regardless. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
18K, not too bad considering we couldn't really see much.
And also like really sick locations. Like that's one of the reasons I love playing this map so much is they were handpicked.
I feel like these are geonebula locations if I've ever seen them.
This one, okay, this one is interesting.
Okay,
I'll let you go first.
Yeah, so long needle pines. My initial vibe here, just the way the trees look, maybe like a North Idaho or like a Spokane or maybe like a Colorado or something like that. I can't exactly remember what this would be, but I don't think it's red pines, but it's something similar. Ooh, it is interesting. Like I might have been tempted by Europe here if I wasn't playing a US map. I still think I like it, but this level of grass is a bit concerning for me. I'm not really sure if you'd see that much grass like up here. So maybe it is maybe more towards the like Colorado idea. I'm kind of getting cold feet here. Maybe it's like Oregon. Maybe it's like Oregon just past the mountains. I'm gonna do that instead, but like I do think it is western based on the vegetation.
Yeah, the pine that you're talking about is Ponderosa pine.
Ponderosa. Sure. Okay.
Ponderosa. It looks at first glance very similar to like a southern pine that you'd find in the southeast because of the long needles that tend to be clustered near the end of the branches.
Yeah. But something about the rest of the vegetation I did not think these are loblollies for some reason.
Another thing that helps, it probably won't help with this mod that we have on, but Ponderosa pine tends to have reddish bark.
Right. Yeah, that's probably more to the point.
It might be, if you look to your left, actually, there we go. You can, yeah. It's actually getting through.
Yeah.
But orangish, reddish bark is a huge clue that these are Ponderosa pines. There's another species in California that's closely related called the Jeffrey pine that also has orange bark. I personally don't know how to tell them apart, to be honest with you.
Where did you say the Jeffrey pine is?
I think it's mostly just in eastern California.
Okay.
In the mountains there.
Yeah, because I consider California here as well, for sure.
Yeah, this one's pretty tough because the Ponderosa pine has a huge range. You can find them in New Mexico, Arizona, like you said, Oregon, all the way up there, Idaho. And so whenever I get a Ponderosa round like this, it could be pretty tough.
So where would you say, like just with the general vegetation mix here, the grass and all that, what's your vibe?
I mean, your guess is not bad. I would say if it's like Arizona, I would expect it to appear drier.
Yeah. But this would surely be a bit much for Arizona, or at least in like 99% of the state. And it does seem like it's populated as well. There's people here because they're mowing the side of the road here.
Great point. I think we should trust that. We should trust the grass and pick the northern side of the Ponderosa pine range. Northern California, Oregon, areas of eastern Washington, even like Idaho and stuff. So it's still kind of a toss-up, but...
Let's go between Bieber and New Bieber.
Looks like a fine guess to be.
All right, let's see.
Ooh. Oh, man. Oh, wow. Okay. No, I want to talk about this because I know why atillandsia put this in the map, because it's a really, really cool, what biogeographers would call a disjunct population, which is like a population of a species that is far removed from all of the rest of them. And this part of South Dakota is called the Black Hills.
Yeah.
And I think it's the easternmost population of Ponderosa pine, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. That makes sense. I mean, looking at the round, it's a very difficult round, just full stop. I think it's gettable because it doesn't quite feel like California when you can actually see the soil and everything and the landscape. But would I go there? Maybe on a very good day. That's hard, I think, though.
Nothing about this screams South Dakota to me.
Yeah, this is not your average South Dakota at the very least. But should we have a look at the Ponderosa pine?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I think it might have actually been split recently. But yeah, there we go. If you look at that range map, you see it's mostly the mountains of the western U.S. But if you zoom into South Dakota, you'll see that one population right there.
There's a cluster on cluster.
Yeah. There's the Black Hills right there. It has a very nice population of them. But if you look like basically all around the Great Plains around it, there's just not suitable habitat. And I think it might be one of the easternmost populations. It looks like, there might be a few extra actually. Is that Nebraska?
Yeah, Nebraska.
Wow.
Wait, let's
Nebraska
actually see.
has Ponderosa pine. I didn't know that.
On Chadron State Park. Let's see if we can find that. Okay, they do have some tracker here. Might be unofficial. It is, but there you go.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. What the heck, man?
This would be a hard round, I assume. Looking here, you're going to be in trouble.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Okay, good to know. Good to know.
But yeah, that's one of the reasons why I love pulling up BC's ranges on iNaturalist like this, is you'll be surprised.
That is an extreme. It's a preponderance of them over here. Someone's really gone and marked out every tree.
Yes. Someone's dedicated out there. Yeah. Someone's getting all the observations.
I like it. But the Ponderosa.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yes. Ponderosa pine. This is a great one to know, especially if you're ever in a situation where you are wondering if you are in the western U.S. or the eastern U.S. and some like northern pine forest. Because sometimes they can look pretty similar, but like say if you want to tell red pine apart from Ponderosa pine, Ponderosa pine will have that obvious reddish orange bark, especially when it gets older.
I think like just the amount, I can still see through the blur, the white sand here. So I think this is certainly Florida again. I mean, would you ever see this many for example, in like a coastal Georgia, South Carolina? Would it be possible?
Yes, I'm glad you asked that because I got baited one time. I thought it was Florida, and it ended up being it was coastal South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because there's so many cabbage palmettos. I got fooled. So yeah, you got to keep that in mind. Cabbage palmetto is one of the most cold tolerant palms. I'm guessing the most cold tolerant native palm is the dwarf palmetto, which you can find in southeastern Oklahoma.
Ooh, that's very cool because that is a cold part of the world. So okay.
Yes. Yeah, it's really impressive. But yeah, this one's interesting.
Ooh.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's a cool location. Okay.
That is a cool location.
Wait, that's a very cool location. We have live oak again?
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
Nice.
Yeah, you'll see live oak growing alongside cabbage palmetto a lot in these kind of coastal forests.
It's not too often that I feel I've never had around there, but with this peninsula thing, I feel like I've never had around there.
We should take a look at that conifer again. Actually, we have several of them around us, but
is it a black spruce?
Yeah, I like that idea because you see how narrow it is.
Yeah,
like, that's something that you see a lot in the far northern conifers, like black and white spruce.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you got it.
Birches?
Yeah, yeah, it looks like we might have birches. We might have both, honestly.
Okay. This one's kind of thicker than the others. So I have an idea here, but I kind of want to hear you first because I feel like I only know it because of Geoguessr stuff. So I want to hear what you think first.
When I see a forest like this, that is just like black or white spruce mixed in with aspen or birch, I instantly think that we're very close to the Canadian border. Some of these species do range into Alaska as well, but it doesn't really scream Alaska to me. It seems
it's densely vegetated.
Yeah, it's dense. The trees are very tall. This is the kind of forest I would expect to see like either around the Great Lakes or near the Canadian border in like northern Maine or something like that.
I'm pretty certain it's not Maine, just from the vibe. I could see maybe like a Minnesota or something, but I'm pretty certain it's actually like near Fairbanks.
Really? Okay.
I think so.
Wow.
Just like based on the coverage, like the kind of early autumn and the way the trees are. I think so. I think at least I think it's Alaska. It's either around Anchorage or around Fairbanks, I think.
Yeah, that's good to know. Yeah, I'll be honest. Like, oh, there we go. Awesome guess.
Thank you. Yeah, I could just kind of feel it off these trees. But it's very, like, Fairbanks is very hard.
I'm guessing it's aspen here and not birch. That'd be something interesting to check. Like, maybe on iNaturalist is like, if we have any birch species that are in this area, because I'm guessing it's mostly aspen, if not all aspen.
Could we just draw a box over the whole of, like, central Alaska and check?
Yes.
Okay, let's do
Definitely. Okay,
So,
there are birds. Alaska paper bird.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh.
Looks a bit different to a normal birch. It's a hardy tree. Look at that. It can survive the winter. Okay.
I like that color. It's like red. That's
yeah.
Oh, this one's fun.
Okay. I mean, is it Hawaii? Because it doesn't look like the US. Oh, what is this? There's just no way that this is anywhere else in the US than Hawaii. Look at the amount of... And I can tell it's Gen 4, so it can't be any of the other islands, unless this was Puerto Rico, actually. Hold on. Because it didn't really remind me that much of Hawaii, so I guess it could be PR.
It's a good question. I don't think Puerto Rico is included in the map, as far as I know.
But look at this. I don't know, like, it's so... I mean, then again, if I think about it, Hawaii is always surprising me with how it can look like between 5 kilometers, you get different things. So I guess it probably is just like Oahu. Can get pretty crazy there. But okay, but if it's wrong, then it's almost certainly Puerto Rico, I think.
I agree. Hawaii is such a mixed bag because you have like, obviously you have native species just mixed in with species from all over the world, tropical species, so it can be crazy.
If I was going NMPZ here, I would not be guessing Hawaii. But I guess it just is. I mean, Hawaii is just difficult at the best of times. Let's see, shall we?
Go for it.
Big island. Yeah.
Boom.
That's very... Let's have a look at this in the real picture.
Yeah, there we go.
I mean, that's pretty crazy. I gotta go Hawaii. I mean, it's such an insane place.
Yeah, it just screams tropical. Like you have these just palms all around you. Everything's just covered in vines.
Oh my god,
moss growing everywhere.
It's so cool.
So cool.
This place is insane.
One thing I want to say about Hawaii, the windward side of the island, which is where Hilo is the side that gets the most rainfall.
Right.
And then you have the rain shadow on the other side. Which
I think
is
I knew
very, very dry area.
I think I knew that by intuition, but that's actually I did not actually know that explicitly, so that's nice. Thank you. Well, this town is very cool. Wow. Look at that. Oh my dude.
Look at that onion tree, man. That ficus is impressive.
Hawaii again.
Yo.
Okay, we got to Google this time, but yeah, that was pretty obvious, I think. Go Big Island again. If I was using the vegetation, go easternly. Yeah.
Nice. Good stuff.
Immediately applicable. That's the right kind of meta. That's the good kind of meta. Okay. This is hard though. It could even be like a Maine. I could see that. It definitely feels northern to me, but I'm not sure where. And I don't think it's west, so... But the thing is, I could see it being like maybe like a Wisconsin or something. I'm not so sure about that. I think I would go Maine, maybe. What do you think?
Yeah, this one's interesting. I think you see like ferns all over the ground. That's usually a sign that we're like in a very humid climate, somewhere where it's just like a lot of moisture in the soil on the ground. Yeah. We have these interesting white bark trees that you see like on your left. Like we were just talking about birches. Well, actually, a lot of these are just like the pixels aren't showing because...
No, I think they are white. You can kind of see...
Yeah, I think some of the white's coming through, and also just the amount of moss. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of moss on these trees.
Yeah,
I think there are a few conifers you can see like on the right side. Like you can see some of the conifers coming through. That almost looks like an eastern white pine. I think it is.
Yeah, I agree.
So that would definitely rule out the Pacific Northwest, which is great because that's one of the thoughts I had when I saw all the moss.
It is very humid, to be fair.
Yeah, my guess is that's more eastern white pine right there. If I can see those needles, I know those needles anywhere.
Wow, that's impressive. Nice.
Well, we'll see if I'm right. I might eat those words.
Where would you go? Where would you go personally?
Honestly, I like your main guess because we know we have a lot of eastern white pines. It's extremely humid. We got ferns everywhere. I feel like this would definitely check out for Maine in my experience. If it's not Maine, it's probably like Vermont or New Hampshire.
Oh my days. It was Washington State.
Oh no.
Well, that makes sense.
Man, we got
it was very wet.
Oh no. We might have to get a closer look at those needles. Okay, that's not a pine.
Yeah.
That's probably a Douglas fir.
Without the mod, yeah.
This one, I said it so confidently too. Oh ooh, this one's mesquite. Crazy.
Honey mesquite, surely. Look at that thing though. What's that? That might be like an agave. Oh, hello. Well,
I was waiting for you to see it.
Oh, I did not see that at first. Okay, so the honey mesquite's kind of big though, right?
Let me tell you, the thing that you're saying is honey mesquite is actually Palo Verde, the state tree of Arizona. There's actually a few different species out there, but you can actually see that the bark of the tree is coming through on this mod, which means that the bark is green, which is a characteristic of
the green stuff.
Yeah, you can see it right there for sure.
Yeah.
But that is a characteristic of Palo Verde, and they are extremely common in the deserts, the Sonoran Desert, all throughout southern Arizona.
Okay, and then we have southwesterly mountains. So we're going to be not on the airfield, but instead right here. Oh,
I like it.
Tucson.
Oh man, it's Tucson.
I did not know how to... When I started this Geoguessr channel, I had no idea how to pronounce the name of the city.
It's a weird one. Yeah, Sonoran Desert, obviously very characteristic, but sometimes it could be hard to tell, like, exactly how far east or west you are, especially given the information we have. If you click into the location real quick, we'll probably be able to see some things that we missed. That agave is interesting. The prickly pear as well.
Yeah.
All that prickly pear. I think I see some purple prickly pear in there, which that's also something that you see a lot. Like, see that purple hue to it?
Yeah. Okay, what's with that?
You get a lot of those around Tucson.
That's cool. Wow, I'll try to remember that. And there's the Palo Verde. Is that what it's called?
Yep, Palo Verde. Oh, there's a really purple prickly pear right behind you. Take a look at that.
Wow, that's cool. Wow, it looks spray painted, bro.
It does. It does. Like when I saw these in real life, I couldn't believe it. They're so crazy looking. But yeah, there's actually a few different species that do this. But I just noticed like just driving around Tucson myself is like they're really popular in the landscape because they're purple, so they look really cool.
People like them.
But I think they're also just native. Like you'll find them in the deserts around there.
Very nice. And of course, saguaros, so awesome. Which have normally only a couple of arms.
Such an impressive plant. Iconic. All right, man, that was fun.
It was certainly really fun indeed. A lot of learning here. But the good thing is, like, even though the new material was limited, it's all about the stuff that I just forget when I'm playing, you know? So, like, it was great to, you just have to refresh that stuff. It's great to be reminded where the Magnolia is from and stuff, because I'd completely forgotten.
Those northwestern conifers, man, I need to, like, really focus on that for a while.
And then Australia, surely.
Yes. I'm looking forward to Australia.
The eucalyptus, we're going to revolutionize it. Eucalyptus guessing.
But yeah, but Zigzag, thank you so much for doing this. This was so much fun. Yeah, we'll have to do it again sometime.
We certainly will. Phil, thanks for having me. And yeah,